Hello and welcome to 27 by 40. My name is Chris.
This is Emmett.
And this is episode 18. And this week we are doing posters from 2002.
2002!
All right. So for those who don't know, every week or every episode, we don't do this every week. We do this every
other week.
Every other week or so.
Speaking,
We pick a year at random, look at the movie posters from that year, and we each pick our top 5 favorites. Knowing the movie, seeing the movie, liking the movie, not a requirement. It's just on the aesthetics of the poster itself, what it communicates, how much we like it.
Yeah.
The vibes.
I do feel like inevitably...
there's always some bias.
If it's a movie that we are familiar with, it does affect...
And the poster's
how
good.
we feel about it.
Yeah.
Sometimes. But that's like a secondary...
That will often affect how I rank it.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much,
Fair.
But it is true that if, I'm presented with, two posters that I like equally, but I've seen one of the movies and really like it, and I've seen the other movie and maybe didn't like it, but
especially if it's...
There's no such thing as unbiased opinion, right?
Especially if the poster is, it makes you sort of feel something like, oh, that ties in really well with, establishing, the feel of the movie, ooh, that's really has an effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2002, not the worst year overall for posters, I thought.
No, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely we're into that semi-modern, the sort of Photoshop era.
Yeah,
where it's just a lot of
composite.
Yeah,
composite.
Just like characters just slam next to each other, and then a title, and then
characters overlapping each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I didn't. It wasn't one of those years where it's just this was just full of I didn't want to even look at a lot of these.
No, there's lots to choose from.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we've been doing, or that I've especially been doing, because I found that you can find some real gems that way, is looking at various different countries.
Yeah, foreign market.
And,
for sure.
And looking at it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I do have one of those on this list.
Same.
But I would say that this is definitely one that I could have done it with just all domestic.
I had enough.
American /
Well, we're also starting to get
if I really wanted to. I
feel when we were doing some of the earlier decades, 90s, 80s, 70s, when you, especially the early stuff, like when we've done some of the 50s and 60s stuff. This goes, I guess, maybe into the 70s a bit too. When you look at some of the French movie posters, German movie posters, they had such a different style,
which can be really cool.
Yeah, I feel we're getting into the era, and this will probably only get worse when we do other post 2000s, where movie poster the styling of what a movie poster would be is starting to become globally homogenous
to a degree.
There's what I'm really now looking for is did a foreign movie come out with a great poster? Not did they have a great take on a poster kind of deal. It's so...
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. I do agree. I'm just saying that I felt like there was enough good ones that I could have done it without that this time. Whereas there has been years where I've been
you start scratching around.
I gotta really go into that foreign stuff to find ones I like. Or find enough.
I need that fifth one bad because I don't want to have to pick.
I could have done it without it this time. Yeah. Because there was enough
I had a good dozen,
choice,
I think.
But I did end up going with one just because I did look and
I found a good one, too.
I was is this going to be... Is there going to be some gems here? Because there often is. And so, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I'm up first this week. And,
what you got?
So my first pick is...
Ghost Ship.
So...
This was on my maybes.
It's a bit corny.
It is super corny.
And
that's why I didn't end up going with it. But it was on my maybes, because I do like it in a weird way.
It was between this and one other one for my fifth.
Yeah.
And I went with this one for 2 reasons. Yeah. One, I kind of really love the corniness.
Yeah.
And 2, spooky season.
Right.
Yeah. Because came out at Halloween. But the whole like see evil, but it's SEA.
Yeah, well, the one that I saw didn't have that part.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
it was the same otherwise.
Yeah. The ship, the prow of the ship with the, I remember when this movie came out. I didn't actually see it, but
I don't think it's super well regarded.
But it's I don't know, something about it. I was really like,
it's fun.
That's exactly what it is. It's really fun.
But it is super corny.
And
I ended up deciding no.
Yeah.
But it was on my maybes.
Yeah. I can't remember. I think the one that this bumped had some like, I think it had some font crime on it. And so I was like, you know what? I'm taking the corny one over font crime.
I mean, the name with being kind of floating in the water, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, now thinking about it, knowing that there's a version of this without that, as the sea evil only adds to the corniness.
Yeah.
Without it, that actually might make it a slightly better poster.
I don't think it was there.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing that.
Yeah. No,
I may have just overlooked it.
It's totally the kind of thing I could see being like removed. And yeah. I wonder if this is like before, and then when it actually hit the theater.
To be honest, I don't even remember in my exact order.
Yeah.
So
great.
I don't even remember what my 5 was.
Oh, excellent. All right. Well, let's find out.
Oh, yes. Road to Perdition.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, I mean, come on. There are quite a few different posters for this movie.
Yes.
But this is the standard
theatrical. There's ones with like faces in the background and stuff.
Yeah, and there's ones that are more like showing Tom Hanks's face. And,
yes, and they're like more brightly lit. Yeah.
And they're more kind of like, starring Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
You love Tom Hanks, don't you?
Yeah.
Whereas this is more like kept enigmatic and dark and kind of
very good.
Like
very good,
atmospheric with the rain and the.
I'm gonna say right now, I also picked this poster, but it's later on.
Okay, fair enough. Well, maybe we'll save.
I ranked it a little bit higher.
We'll save. We'll save.
I think it might be my 3.
We'll save the talk a little bit then. But
yeah, no, it is
because I remember
also tremendous movie.
And this happens a lot. Is where like I'll bring up the posters and I'll be like, "That's the poster for that movie," because the one that I know is like way more lame than that. And it turns out it's because a lot of times the posters that I'm thinking of are like the video release ones,
and they're always
are usually
garbage.
the ones that are like they're on the DVD box,
and
oftentimes they're on like posters that you might have like in a store or or like advertising it, as opposed to like these are like the actual theatrical release ones.
It's one of those
which are often like way better.
The way I said I end up searching for stuff, I'll often end up being presented with like the movie poster, and then like somewhere further down the search page, the image search page, inevitably the DVD cover will come up, and it's always like
a worse variation.
How did you turn or like just 100% completely different, and it's always a visual crime. Like it's something about DVD covers. It's like they put the Z team.
Well, they put a lot more focus on like selling the movie and kind of like the stars' faces. Hey, look who's on the movie.
It's just a composite of faces.
You want to see this movie, and it's like that's not cool. That doesn't look awesome.
No.
There's actually another one coming up, and again, I don't remember exactly what order I did.
Nice.
I mean, I didn't do it random. Like it's in an order on purpose. I just it was late at night.
Like I said, I can't remember where this one falls.
It was late last night that I put the final thing on, and then like I was out the door for work at like 5 this morning.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I don't really. I'm lucky I remember how to like put my own pants on right now.
Yes. See, for me, I did this like Monday. So, like, it was 5 days ago. I don't remember the order I put them.
So, but there is one coming later somewhere that is a similar situation where I saw the theatrical poster and I was like, that's the poster? That is so much better than what I remember. And
or worse,
it went
you own the DVD and you're like, you go look at your DVD. I'm like, this is so ugly.
See, I barely even look at it. I mean, I've talked about that before, like how posters, like,
they sort of wash over you a bit.
It's fun doing this, but like posters have never been the main motivating factor in like, I want to see that movie. For me. So like if a movie's great and has a terrible poster, I don't really care. But then like because we're doing this now, it's kind of making me care because I'm like, why do you have these crappy posters?
Yeah, why you do this?
So anyways, that's my 5.
Excellent. Road to Perdition. All right. So my number 4. It's my minimalist poster.
This was again on. I mean, you know how much I love this movie.
Yeah.
This was on my maybes, but I mean, there's really nothing there. There's nothing there.
It's very much a there's a nothing there, but it's also for me, it's like all vibes.
Sure.
Like,
yeah,
because it's got the ring. And if you've seen the movie...
What is the ring?
It is the ring. It's got the ring. If you've seen the movie... Right. See, this is definitely a case of maybe slanted a bit because I've seen the movie a couple of times.
Because what is the ring?
Yeah. 7 days.
I mean, I know what it is.
Yeah.
The poster gives no indication.
I mean, honestly, I'd love a poster of this with just, like, to take the bit where it says the ring off. Like, the unnecessary.
Oh, just the art?
Just the art. Like, the art in addition to the... Like, you know what this is, right?
Yeah.
Like,
maybe not then, because this was the first one.
The brand,
I mean, it's obviously the American remake, but yeah. But here, it was the first one.
Also, I like the slight font crime here, where... like the title and the what's written are like so diametrically different.
Yeah.
But I like how...
But it's because it's
yeah,
it's a different... It's because that's like setting up, you know, and then it's...
Well, because the words "the ring" are written like somebody like drew them with like their finger in like...
Yeah, like that's the title, so
exactly,
that's like the logo, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know what you're saying, but it's like there was no other way to really do it, you know?
Yeah.
So,
But so that's my minimalist pick for the episode.
Sure.
Or for this year.
Yeah.
You know, so that's it. Yeah.
A lot less minimalist than your usual.
No. Also,
even though it's still just
the era of like ultra arty minimalist poster is not like once you get into the 2000s, that's gone.
Pretty much.
That's really you get maybe the odd one here and there, but it's not like when you go into like the 70s where like posters got real arty. I got like 3 to pick from here. Yeah. Like this, it's just a close up of somebody's eye on a white background. I'm in, you know.
Oh man, there was a couple of eye posters.
Oh, I saw.
And I was like, oh,
is Emmett going to be on his
so tempted because I was like, oh, I got to do some eye stuff.
Because there
weren't really.
They weren't that great.
Like,
though. They were
great eye stuff.
No, I totally thought that too.
Oh man,
I was like, are we going to see some?
It was
eye
killing
stuff?
me. I was like, I kept being like, oh, it's an eye poster. Oh, that's not that great.
The ultimate crossover, a minimalist eye poster.
Yeah, but
like,
there were a few.
Yeah.
All right.
So this will
my
be
4?
Your 4.
1 hour photo. So this is one where it's based completely on like the vibe of just like that is incredibly creepy, and all it is
it's
like
somebody doing their job.
It's a guy. I mean, technically, yes.
It's a guy working at the 1 hour.
It's a guy doing his job.
Yeah.
Processing photos.
You see Robin Williams play a role,
but it's so creepy,
unlike any role he has ever played before.
It is so creepy.
Yeah,
because like his face and like the determined sort of and just like you're like, okay, what is this guy?
Like, what's up here?
What is his deal?
Yeah.
Like,
well, here's the thing. You title a movie 1 hour photo, and you see that, and you're like, okay, we got multiple genres this could be. 1 hour photo, easily romantic comedy.
But not with that face.
And then you see the picture, and you're like, this is not a romantic comedy.
No, definitely not. I mean, it does say at the top, a haunted performance by Ron Williams. Sure. So that, hey, that's Roger Ebert. Interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, so, I mean, it does indicate that something maybe a little sus is going on.
Yeah.
But like, that face, man.
But you're like,
so
Robin
scary.
Williams, he's the funny guy.
Hey, Robin Williams, we love Robin Williams. Yeah, no. It's scary as hell, that face.
Yeah.
It's just so grim.
Actually, I think, now that I think about it, I think this is what this is what Ghost Ship bumped.
What I think is really impressive about it, too, is that it's so, like, grim and scary, but it's so bright.
It is.
Like, it's not a dark poster. Yeah. It's a white background poster with light colors on the actual image.
Yeah. Well,
you know, a fully lit scene.
A room with extremely bright neon lighting can be just as creepy. Like overhead neon lighting can be just as creepy.
I mean, that tells you right there about his performance. The fact that he makes it creepy when it's just a still bright image. I mean, come on. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm pretty sure this is the one actually that almost made it. Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. I was a bit slanted by. Also, I really like this movie too.
I was a bit humming and hawing about it, but in the end, I was like, it's pretty great.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
All right. So my number 3. So this is my road.
There you go.
Yeah, so I put it a little bit higher.
Cool.
But no, it's a really great poster.
Yeah.
Again, this exact version with the very shadowed faces and the logo is really top. That driving rain. But yeah.
Yeah.
So
just sort of enigmatic enough, but it kind of gives you the vibe of what you might be in for. You know, the period piece.
I'm always down for Tommy guns. So
yeah, the Tommy gun and the period costumes.
The tag of pray for Michael Sullivan.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's no context. So yeah, it's great. It's really great.
Yeah,
really, it's a great movie too.
Great, yeah, also great movie. Yeah.
I really wish
haven't seen it.
Tom Hanks had done more roles like this because like he does so much of the kind of like it's the Tom Hanks. He's he's
America's Dad
kind of roles, and it's like, well,
we need more
not
like
always
real hard. I mean, he's done
hardcore Tom Hanks.
I mean, hardcore Tom Hanks. Wow, that's not. I don't think about that.
Not that kind of. I mean, like. Hardcore.
Yeah. Well, more like the serious drama. Because even things like Castaway, which are like, there's some comedy in there. It's a fairly dramatic
I'm
film.
not talking about like serious drama. He's done tons of serious drama, but he's always like a likable sort of like, it's Tom Hanks.
A more down and dirty Tom Hanks.
Yeah. And like a more...
we're really having a hard time.
And more like dangerous.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Look, if Robin Williams... I mean... Look at that. Ron Williams playing a killer in 1 Hour Photo. Spoilers.
Yeah.
We got Tom Hanks playing 2002. What a year for Against Type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to be rarely done.
Yeah.
Ever again.
It's just funny because like both those movies were well received, did well, but yeah. All right.
So this will be your...
No, this is my 3. So now your 3.
3. Rain of Fire. So this...
It's very close for me.
This is the one that I was talking about where, like, because what I was familiar with was the thing with, like, oh, look, it's, like, Matthew McConaughey's face and Christian Bale's face and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And it was, like, the typical, like, DVD box type
It looks like crap.
poster. I was like, yeah, that's garbage. Yeah. And then I saw this, and I was like, this was the theatrical poster? That's awesome.
Yeah. This was another one that was almost on my list.
Because, like, this is more or less what the other one is. Mm-hmm. It just has all this other crap pasted over it. Instead of it just being like the pure image.
Brutal. Why would you mess with this?
Why would you do that?
Yeah.
It's so good.
Give me
Fire.
2002, give me a dragon movie. Yeah. Exactly.
Parliament.
Yeah.
Helicopters.
This movie has it all. Matthew McConaughey does not take his shirt off though. But
it wouldn't really be appropriate for this one.
They're extremely intelligent, highly evolved, and don't like sharing the planet.
Yeah.
Bit corny, but it's a bit of a corny movie, so it's fine.
It's okay. Yeah. Like I don't love it, but it's fun, and it is kind of cool that like they came up with like a different concept for like an apocalyptic like is it like zombies? Is it like
aliens?
Nuclear bomb? Is it aliens?
No,
it's dragons.
Yeah, surprise dragons.
Yeah, like it's a dragon apocalypse. Like okay, that's cool. Like at least they did something different. You know. So
I was always bummed out the sequel never materialized. There was talk about it, and I was like, but it was like one of those things where like we're not going to get any, it was like right from evident like it was going to be a lower budget, not going to get anybody.
Might as well not bother.
And it was like better off
not bothering.
Yeah, no.
Leave it as like a little time capsule of like that time when like some actors who would be very famous. Well, I guess like McConaughey was already pretty famous.
Yeah, but by that point, well known enough name,
but not as big. Like,
yeah, no, Rain of Fire. Rain of Fire's good poster. I guess it almost made my list. All right,
so that was my 3, right?
All right, yeah.
So it's your 2.
This is my 2. Treasure Planet.
I think that's also my 2.
It is also your 2.
Okay, well there you go.
I pushed the button. It's also your 2.
It is insane how many times we've done that.
Yes, yeah, back to back, and not just a tie, but on the same count.
Yeah, like where they actually line up.
Yeah. Absolutely beautiful poster. Just super evocative.
Yeah. Again, I mean,
Oh, has this got a terrible DVD cover?
Well, no, it's just like the other typical, like what you would see, like the more kind of Disney poster.
Oh, yeah.
But I guess this is kind of in line with like the how because we've been through this a little bit with some of the other episodes where the realization that like in the Renaissance era, they often had the more like artistic, like more adult kind of poster. And then they had like the more cartoony kitty poster for each of the movies. You know, like Beauty and the Beast had them, you know. So like that just seems to be a thing they do. But like the poster that I was familiar with that for this was like the more cartoony kitty one.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't realize that there was anything...
more like what's in the movie versus
and I didn't realize there was anything else. But this is like this beautiful painting with like you know, the ship and then the space and the planet and the
I mean, we know, okay, so it's Treasure Planet, so it's like...
it's Treasure Island,
but in space.
Like space science.
There's a bit of the flying ships give me a bit of like a Peter Pan vibe, which is, again...
But in space.
Disney, but in space, you know, it is a really gorgeous poster.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. Like, that's just...
The title font is just...
I think that poster is probably better than the movie. Because it's like a very average Disney movie.
Yeah, it is. It's a movie that I was really looking forward to because of like, Treasure Island in space. I love Treasure Island. Okay, sure. And it was kind of like...
I mean, it's not bad.
Yeah, no, it's
just very like average Disney.
Yeah. It's a good 7 out of 10, you know. Yeah.
But that is a freaking beautiful poster.
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
I just was like, man, if you took off like all of the...
Oh, like the text?
All the text and like logo and the print and everything. Just had the image. That is a wall hanging for sure. Like, absolutely great.
Yeah, I kind of almost wish the bit where it said Treasure Planet stuff was kind of more like tucked away in the side or up at the top, or like kind of like not quite so in the center where it's like kind of pulling you away from looking at... Like, I looked at this poster a bunch of times and I actually didn't even notice till now that moon in the back behind the like Andromeda star stuff has rings on it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, there's so much going on this poster.
Yeah, but not in a like super busy way.
No,
it's all well balanced. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
Love it.
My 2, your 2.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this goes to my 1 now.
Yeah. Oh.
So
I don't know what this is.
It's a Japanese movie. And I am going to have to look up the title because I thought I would remember, but that was 5 days ago and now I don't. Because I'm an idiot and I grabbed the Japanese version, which has no English on it. The Twilight Samurai is what it's called. Yeah. And I thought this poster has a number of variations of... where it's like just like with everything kind of rearranged, like some have the guy being bigger on one side and the title on the left. The English one I believe has the title here, but in like here I can just show you, like that's the English one, but it's got like a picture of some lady in the background. It doesn't look as good, but I was just super struck by this. Also, we are now also entering an era, and this is sort of something that when I mentioned previously about the more like global design in movie posters is up until kind of around this time, like Japanese posters were often like never on my list.
I've done a couple.
But it's usually they have like just so much text and stuff on them that there's not really much to them other than like a character's face and then just mountains of text. And I've never really, again, not being able to even read most of it or any of it in many cases. I just, not really a style. But this one, this is like, oh, I'd put that on the wall. Like piece of art style poster for me. I really
no, it's there. I just missed it. That's funny.
But yeah, no, I saw this and I was like, okay, well that's my number 1, barring me finding something like really amazing from something else. Because up until then, Treasure Planet had actually been my 1.
Cool.
Yeah.
All
right. And
my one hails from a similar part of the world.
Oh,
it's Korean.
Yeah, this is a
Japanese,
good poster.
But this is the Coast Guard.
Yeah.
South Korean film. And this is definitely one where, although I haven't seen it, I did kind of look up like what the gist of like what, because I didn't know anything about it, hadn't heard of it, but it was such a striking poster.
Makes you want to look it up.
I looked up like, yeah, exactly. I looked up like sort of the gist of what it was about, and I was just like, ooh, that is some heavy stuff. And I was like, all right.
It looks heavy.
I was like, that brings so much meaning and like power to the poster.
So what's the gist?
So it's basically about like he's like young military, I guess Coast Guard or their equivalent Coast Guard, I guess. But he's like basically posted as kind of like a lookout, and this couple like sneaks into like kind of like an area that's sort of like a semi, like off limits type of area to like have sex basically, and he thinks that it's like North Korean incursion, and he shoots and kills the guy in the couple, and then basically doesn't find out until after that
it was just
he killed
completely
like an innocent civilian. And so basically he starts having like massive trauma, and then like the girl who was like the girlfriend of the guy that got killed obviously has massive trauma, and then like it just kind of spirals from there. Like he gets attacked by like the friends of the guy he killed and like badly beaten up. But at the same time he's like being like officially he's being like praised for his actions and stuff, because it's like, oh wow, you really did a great job protecting that, but like he knows
the reality is
he knows that like he killed an innocent person. And so like the like
it's a very innocuous title. And then you look at the poster and you're like, well, there's got to be more to it.
Yeah, and so it's basically just about really, like his descent into like how his like
PTSD madness,
and trauma, like basically just and like all the things that happen as a result of this this action, and then like where he ends up.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, that's
it's. I was like, man, that sounds really heavy, but I was like, that really brings a lot of power to the poster. And so I was really impressed with it.
But it's a very good poster.
So I was like, damn, that's a one right there.
The imagery of like the guy walking shirtless, dog tags, and then all the
rifles
with the helmets on it is like striking up. But then like put against the like the weird shallow water, and then like the super stark like hazy sky. Yeah, no, that's good. That's very good. That's like. If that was an American movie, you'd be like, this movie's Oscar baiting here.
I mean, I don't know, like if it was even well regarded or anything in.
But very good poster. Don't know if I'm going to watch that movie, but that's a very good poster.
Well, that's funny. Filming took place from June 18th, 2002 to July 19th, 2002. The actors playing the Marines went through a mini boot camp to help them get into the roles of South Korean Marines. The director himself is a veteran of the South Korean Marine Corps. One day of filming was interrupted so the cast and crew could watch the 2002 FIFA World Cup quarterfinals between South Korea and Spain. Oh, I mean, that's, that football, they're serious about that.
You got to take a break for the football. Yeah.
All
right. So now we're going to spin the wheel to see what we're doing next episode.
Yeah. I mean, it could be almost anything. We've done multiple
from almost every
episodes
decade
in every decade now. We're going to be back in the 2000? 2000!
Oh, wow. Right on!
2000.
Wow. Well,
this is really interesting.
This is interesting because over on the What We've Watched podcast...
That's true. We have top 5 movies of 2000 coming... in a little while.
It's coming up soon.
A couple months.
For those who have watched that, a number of years ago, we did a combined top 10 of 2000 to 2009 kind of. Yeah. We wanted to. It was early on in the podcast history, and we wanted to kind of like touch on those films.
Yeah.
And so we did a. I went back and watched because after we talked about it, I went back and listened to the episode.
Yeah.
And we were super enthusiastic that whole episode about what we were doing, but in the end, it was a list of a lot of compromises. Obviously, when we were doing that, none of us were
It's interesting that you say that it seemed enthusiastic during it, because I felt nothing but terrible about it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, and me too. I'm like, man, because I listen to it, and I'm like, stuff that wouldn't even be on my list.
Yeah, I felt like it was such a mistake.
First off, I think, like, for a decade that we watched so many films, picking only 5 was madness.
Yeah.
I mean, even though we both got to, over that course of the episode, we also got to, because, like, you picked stuff that I had wanted, and so it kind of worked out. Like, we kind of both got, like, 8 movies that we wanted in there.
Man. I hate it.
But the fact that it just wasn't, we were trying
the thing is, we
were trying out something.
We were trying out something, and the problem was that we had just done
the 90s.
The 90s, where we did an episode for each year.
Yes.
And we did them all in a row. So every week,
yes,
we did one. And so we had just done 10 of those. And there was no way we were going to do that again then.
No, we were burned out.
So we did something a little different. And because also that was commemorating, like, episode 100. So,
yes. Oh, that's right. It was episode 100.
We did something different. But, of course, now it just feels like a huge mistake because, but, like, at the time, there wasn't really a lot of options. So
now that we're going to do 2 things, I mean, literally, I'm going to get to, like, I'm going to be able to use my research for one for the other. This is going to...
Yeah, I mean, to an extent. I mean, it's going to be a different thing. Also, that episode won't be for, like, a while. So.
Yeah, it is. It's a little ways away.
Yeah,
it's
like a couple of months, probably.
I think, actually, it might not even be till next year.
But next year is, like...
I know, not that far away. Yeah. I know we are in that rather wild time here. Yeah. All right. So thanks everyone for tuning in and watching us this week.
One more thing about that. What's interesting though is that the best movies of that year will not necessarily be the best posters, and vice versa.
Oh, right, of course.
So we'll have different things on our best movies of 2000 list and our best posters.
What it's going to do is it is going to just, I will be looking, because when I do posters, I'll get every single movie.
Yeah.
And
it'll remind you, like,
what I've actually seen.
What came out in 2000. Yeah. Don't forget to make a note of it, though, because by the time we go around to doing the actual list, you're going to have to, like, go back and...
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Make sure to make a list as you're going.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Anyways, all right. Now you can...
All right. Well, thanks, everyone, for watching us this week, and we'll be back in a couple more weeks with another episode. Until then, I'm Chris.
This is Emmett.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.